Good morning and welcome to Newsline, live from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo. And joining me this morning is Bandula Jayasekara, the former diplomat and senior journalist. Good morning, Bandula.
Good morning, Faras. Back the brother in blue, the man in blue.
Indeed, the boys in bluish. And we are also joined here all the way from Paris. He's arrived yesterday and he's here on our show this morning. Asoka Abegunawardena, political analyst. Very good morning to you.
Good morning.
And how is Paris? Safe?
Well, yeah, it's safe. We were expecting whether they will be postponing the event or not, but now there are about 30,000 people attending the conference.
In Paris?
In Paris. So,
in central Paris?
Yes.
And how's the security situation in Paris?
Actually, we are used to that because originally we were facing
under
this.
That,
yeah, so just.
But is there a noticeable security presence?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Armed sort of commandos?
Not the commandos, but.
But they're armed?
Yeah.
Right. And we are also joined this morning by Lassil de Silva. Good morning, the Secretary of Presifac, the Presidential Commission of Inquiry into all sorts of bad things.
Thank you very much for the description. Thank you. Good morning to you.
Yes, now we'll have to ask, we'll start with you, Lassil. Yesterday, the country's aspirations and hopes for better governance was sort of upheld because the FCID, almost your opposition, delivered the product. They actually arrested somebody and the process was, justice appeared to be on the road to be done. Why is it that the Presifac hasn't had any such luck?
Let me say it this way. Once, some time ago, about 2 months back, I informed you that we will definitely be going ahead to finalize a report or two. On that basis, end of November, we wrote to the Attorney General and Bribery Commission with regard to an alleged, irregularity that had taken place in Nigambu, a lagoon. That is where government funds have been expended in regard to an election campaign. So the recommendations of that has been sent. Yes, and that will definitely take the next step. They will do the needful. Attorney General, the Bribery Commission, they are in the process of doing the, finalizing the next stage.
So, FCID about 2 and Presifac 1. You don't look at it like
I don't look at it that way. We have a few more other cases that could be probably completed. Anyway, what I would say is investigations into corruption, fraud, all that is not that easy.
Yes, it isn't easy. But Asoka, yesterday when we watched the footage of the former chairman of the SEC, Lanka arriving at the offices of the FCID and leaving under arrest to the courthouse, we noticed two things. One was it appeared to me, I don't know if you saw this, Pandula, but it appeared to me that Mr. Godaheva was being manhandled into the jeep. He may have missed it because he might have been on a flight, but he appeared to be pushed. And the other thing was that Mr. Godaheva appeared to be in good health. He was walking briskly and so on and so forth. But we're told that Mr. Godaheva is in the prison hospital. Is that normal in this country now?
Yeah, I mean, firstly, I think this is a progressive step forward because investigations are happening and something coming out of it. But I have an issue how this process is implemented. Like now, at this stage, it's still under investigation, and he's not been proved that he has done
Anything wrong?
yeah. So I have few issues now. Firstly, yes, these things need to be investigated, but now SEC's point of view now, 5 million is not. I mean, as far as the amount of cash and things are happening. So, are we failing to identify the real cases?
Who gave the instructions? Like, that's what you're trying to say.
Yes.
And
So what would have happened if, when Mr. Godahewa was chairman of the SEC,
Yes.
and he had this request from Taruneta Heta,
Yes.
which was being run by Namal Rajapaksa, or associated at any rate by with him, at the registered office of the Neil Balakai was in Torrington Avenue in Colombo.
Yes.
So he was very much involved. It's no good him saying that he wasn't. He was.
True.
And that was the public perception. So what would have happened if Mr. Godahewa said, no, I'm awfully sorry, but this is the SEC and I'm not giving you the money? What do you think would have happened to Mr. Godahewa?
yeah, I mean that exactly the point. Now the culture that is there and the way things were happening. I mean, the people were like puppets, or if they are to survive, they have to entertain certain things. But if he should finally take the responsibility, because he has taken the decision and done it. But on the other hand, there should be a mechanism to investigate the proper analysis and identify who received the money and what influences has he made, and that's the exact way. I mean. As a layman, I mean, from outside, what people want is not the person who transferred the money, but who received, and what they have done, and how they have managed to get that.
According to the Sunday Times front page last Sunday, the money was used to pay a troupe of hip-hop dancers. They are.
That's right.
So I don't know the relevance
between.
between that and promoting the cause of investing in the stock market.
That's exactly the point. Actually, now things now. In addition, I mean the points I wanted to raise was now from the point of view of the government officers, they were facing severe issues previously, and for the future, what we want is to allow the public officers to function independently on their own, to take, as you mentioned, to take correct decisions at the right time. So how to build that culture and how these investigations will help, that is the way we have to look at it. And if I mean, at the end of the day, if just the officers are punished and the real culprits are safe, then I don't think that will lead to a better building up a better culture within the society, so that such things will not happen in the future. And on the other hand, the other danger is that if you are that may this particular process may lead towards the present officers, the individuals, they may be reluctant to take even right decisions unless they are properly protected. So that will lead to another issue, which where decisions are not taken regarding some certain useful
But
things.
don't you think that it may have set the right sort of example? Because people will now say, no, I'm not going to break the law. That's it.
Yeah, no, I think this is very important. You know, basically a public servant has got a responsibility. That is, they should be within the laws, within the rules, within the regulations. Now, there can be a situation where, you know, people, the public servants might think twice, say whether I am safe. My analysis is, my thinking is, if you act within the rules and regulations, right, you have to make things happen, because public service is meant for a certain job. They have a duty, the service delivery. In case if they can't do that, that again creates other problems. These are the problems that have been there over the years, for the last couple of decades, I would say. Now it has come to a situation, government, starting from the parliament, right, will have to fine-tune the whole system, I would say. That is, in the sense, now the Prime Minister had started a new thing, like in place of consultative committees, there's going to be sectoral committees. I really have not been able to study in detail as to what the sectoral committees are going to be doing in the future. But I know the Prime Minister said, now there has to be policies, there have to be, oversight facilities, oversight activities, all that done from Parliament, and those matters will have to be originated from Parliament, right? So there's a lot that Parliament can do. I believe the government, in that sense, should motivate the public servants, because they
and
are
empower them.
Yeah,
that's what
naturally they have all the powers, because they have the rules, they have the regulations, they have everything, they have the protection if they do the right thing, right? So they should not be frightened not to do the right thing. They should definitely come out and do the right thing. When they do the right thing, most probably nobody can find fault, because the politicians also now know there's a direct finger pointed at them, that they have been responsible to push most of the government officers. I would say they have also been hand in glove in some way. It has been obvious with regard to investigation that we have carried on. So there has to be a situation in the name of justice, in the name of principles, in the name of ethics and moral values. All that will have to be done properly, and I would say there are good public officers who will definitely stand up and who will be able to definitely perform. Say for an instance, now somebody was asking me, if the police officers are punished, will they come forward and do their duty? Actually, they should come forward and they should do their duty properly.
They should, but I think the question that you were posed would have been, will they?
Naturally, they should come forward, because
no, but they can't. They'll be transferred to Ampara or some place. So that's what happens.
That will not happen. The police commission
I hope
is
that
there.
changes. That's what we need.
It will definitely change, because the police commission is there. I know we had a problem. This was in the news, that one of the officers, I mean, that I don't dispute. The police department, they have the authority, they have the responsibility. Actually, there were a few police officers that was, a decision was taken to transfer them. Anyway, the transfers were given to the former places where they were. But actually, I had to write to the IGP and the police commission in regard to one particular officer who did very good service to the commission, requested that he be transferred to a place where he wanted, that was Kuliapitiya and Kurunagal. So accordingly, having heard all those things, having considered all those appeals, he was transferred to Kurunagal. So the police commission, IGP, they are there to protect the good officers. Right. I believe they should come forward, they should stand up, and they should do the good things, not the bad things.
But this, the Prime Minister loves committees. What happened to the committee that was formed to look into the bond issue? We are quite at a loss. Nobody knows. This is lost in the fullness of time. It's been lost. Anyway, I've got a viewer who says big crooks get caught by small deals. To find out more about those and other matters, we'll be right back after this short break. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Newsline. Today we are joined by Asukabe Gunawardena and Lasil de Silva. Gentlemen, why are you silent on the bond matter when I asked you about what happened to this committee?
Yeah, that's part of that process, I believe, which should be rectified. I mean, now if you are to have a different culture altogether, then the committees, are they producing results they were expected to produce, and were they given the freedom to do it? If it's not there, then digging the past alone will not give us a better solution. So while investigating the past issues, the processes should be there so that the officers who are in charge of these committees or the other mechanisms in there, they should have the freedom to do what they were supposed to do. So if it's not in line with what we are expecting, then whole thing will lead nowhere.
Do you think that there is a case that he will only be investigated if you are a former minister? and that if you're a present minister and if people make allegations about how many, whatever it is, X number of items that you own.
I would not agree with you because...
But that's how it appears to me.
No, actually there was an allegation that they are being harassed, all kinds of allegations that we will not be able to do what we are doing, and it's simply to harass former politicians, which is not the case. I will tell you one or two names now. Priyanka Rajaratnam, a present minister, right? He has been brought before the commission, right? And there are a long list of others who have been brought before the commission. There we are investigating into the present administration also. The allegation that the former administration is being inconvenienced or harassed, I don't accept.
Well, I don't know about inconvenience. They've got a lot of time on their hands, but it doesn't mean that they need to be regularly turned out to the big top, known as Westpac, and turn up there and come there and spend an afternoon, and perhaps have a cup of tea at the commission, and then nothing happens because it's all steeped in legal argument, and it does. Unlike the FCID, I think in your commission's case, you all recommend to whoever it is to take action. But then that unit will have to look into it all over again, isn't it?
Can I say, there has to be various methods of dealing with regard to corruption. Now, we have been empowered to go into massive frauds and corruption, and we are doing that. Actually, we will definitely, what we will do is, we will have to submit our report. Maybe I would call it a fact-finding mission in that sense, right? The rest of the process will definitely be in place thereafter, and we will definitely follow up because we have 4 sitting High Court judges who have been dedicatedly doing all what they need to do.
I'm going to ask you this question because it's coming live to us on one of our readers. It's directed to you.
Yes.
They want to know what you think. How can civil servants, government servants, how can they best do their jobs without fear and favor?
I think, we are now in a situation where we have seen the public servants have fallen into difficulty, let me say that way, because of the corrupt politicians, let me say that way without any fear. Unfortunately, it's a very pathetic situation, right? So it is the duty of the public servants and the trade unions to come forward, right? They should agitate. Formerly there was a setup maybe in 1950s, 1960s, the civil administration was very strong. We had very good officers, straightforward officers. On the one hand, if the public servants also can correct themselves, let me say it this way, they also should be clean, they also should be capable, they should be dedicated, they should do what they have to do but not do anything irregular.
How far are we off?
Actually, I think we need to look into the structural changes. I think before 70s, the mechanism was there so that the government officers had the authority to do it. Now, to best of my knowledge, now later on with certain structural changes, now the politicians can appoint the secretaries, and with that process, that leads to these issues that these public servants are facing. So at this stage, as we are looking into the changing the political system and all those things, we need to further explore how we can set up the structure so that these officers has the freedom to work. Even now, I mean, as a person who was involved with this turn or the change, I am to a great extent disappointed the way the investigations are happening.
And how disappointed are you? Because there's another question that's coming through to us. It says here central bank staff were transferred out. What have you to say about that?
Well, that particular incident I have no idea, but the general trend is...
Is you being transferred out?
No, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Now, general trend is, if we are to prove that we are allowing the officers to do their job, then such things should not happen. Then only we can get the people will get the confidence that the present government is doing something in the right direction. In addition to doing the investigation, the issue with investigation the point I wanted to highlight is that why we were discussing about the mega deals and other major issues, but these investigations, somehow or other, they cannot go into those and find the real issues. Maybe I think the mix or the team that's working, we need to have some professionals involved with sector expertise, because the way I understand is, now I am an energy sector person, so there are technical ways of finding, giving a certain, let's say, a certain tender awarding to a particular party that starts before tendering itself, because setting the technical specifications at that stage, even this corruption is involved. So we need to have a comprehensive investigative process to identify these issues. So at the end of the day, we are discussing some minor issues. That's my worry.
A question for you, coming from one of our viewers, is they want to know that imposing fines is well and good, but they want to know what steps you all will take, or what steps can you take to recover the financial frauds and so on, to recover the loot.
Definitely. Now the government has already decided, or at least I would say are considering, the process, how this could be developed or improved in order to recover. I think that will be the next stage. It will definitely be done, because if people have amassed all types of illegal wealth, or if they have fraudulently, resorted to...
But like for example, in the United States, the DEA, if you're involved in drugs, that's it. All your assets, all that frozen immediately from the word go.
There is a process, and it will be definitely done. Recovery process will be done, definitely.
Another viewer says to me that when various staff at the central bank were transferred out during this bond issue, that the message was to scare away the government servants. And another one says that this is the same way Buddhika Patirana is being kept down.
Let me say it this way, it took such a long time to destroy a good country like Sri Lanka, right? So restoring ethics, restoring rule and law.
Are you saying, Lasil, that this country was put to the dogs only by President Mahinda Rajapaksa in his 9+ years?
Let me say no. Basically, from for the last several decades, there were issues of corruption. There has been all types of reports submitted. All that has been there. Most of the reports went underground and under the carpet and not investigated. Unfortunately, that has been the trend. So
these carpets are very, very thick. Even Axminster will have a problem with competing with these carpets, because so many things are being shoved under the carpets.
Let's say now things have begun, right? There is most of the issues are under investigation. It will definitely take a little longer. It's not that easy to complete, investigations into fraud and corruption. I have said the same thing even previously. We know how difficult it is. Let me say, there may be instances where they have, sent messages not to interfere, or, messages to threaten the officers who come forward to clean up the systems and things like that. It has been there, but fortunately what I should say is, now that we have started this, let us give a little time. Things will slowly...
Well, I hope it's not like Ranil Wickremesinghe waiting and waiting like Godot to get power, and then he got it at the end with a bit of help from President Sirisena.
He's the Prime Minister let's accept that.
Yes, but he's a minority Prime Minister. Can we condone these actions, like keeping Buddhika Patirana down, like a very select process? Can we keep these actions down? Can we condone them, or what do you think about we being a bit silent?
No, that's what it's an interesting discussion, because we have two guests, but have to wait and see. You know, this is a process, like we say. Let's the process work.
And what do you have to say about President Chandrika Kumaratunga's announcement that she used a French firm of something or other?
No, it's the same thing where, okay, the previous government was blamed especially the embassy in Washington used lobbyists and lobby groups. When you have an ambassador, that's his job to do it. Instead of hiring, the same thing. So we don't need this, like we discussed with Leslie. We don't need this. We could have our own people and train our people and get them to do service. I'm sure
you were in the foreign service.
Yeah.
How many of these ambassadors are a Charles Saatchi or a Lord Bell, a specialist in spin?
No, that because they feel like it's their duty to go and reach out to the media and speak to them. So that is when they don't do it. This is where there's no need. Okay, companies are hired, but it was hired in Washington. So we should stop that. That is wrong. What she has hired the French firm. That is also wrong. That's to do a survey.
Yeah.
On devolution. So that's wrong. So you should not. You don't need this.
And we're also told that the Center for Policy Alternatives, headed by Dr. Saravanamuthu, is facilitating a delegation to Edinburgh to study federalism and hybrid judges.
This also started with the CFA, various tours and all that. Let's wait and see. I think we should, I'm sure Asoka will agree, we should have more training. We should get experts down and train where we are than having these tours.
Do you think that the Foreign Service would be a far better place and then we can rely less on these lobbyists and so on if the mission heads, the ambassadors and the consul generals and so on are career diplomats rather than friends and relatives?
No, in the world you have a mix of career and non-career. So whether it's US or Canada and all. So that is what now take people like Mangala Munasinghe, Neville Kanagaratna. These are people, Dr. Kalpage. They've been wonderful diplomats. So you have to have the mix. Just because your career means that doesn't mean that you're perfect. There are. I can tell you there are career diplomats who can't even speak English. So you have to have a right mix. That's what you need.
Thank you very much. And gentlemen, thank you very much for being on Newsline. We appreciate your presence, Asoka and Lessa.
Thank you very much.
And I'll leave you with this little thought, shall I? The most reliable way to predict the future is to create it. On that note, Newsline wishes you a very good morning. Take care, God bless, and keep watching.